trade. And I want to talk for a second about the time that silver contracts, the options contracts expire. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. I heard Ranting Andy, pardon me, I can't remember his last name, but he was mentioning he just rattled off a whole list of different times that the metals manipulators at JP Morgan and others like to smash down the price of silver. And he mentioned the expiration of the silver options contracts. Now, every commodities options contract expires. They expire every month, whereas I think it's the stock options expire every 3 months. And the gold and silver options contract expire the 13th of every month, as far as I can see forward in the schedule, which goes all the way to September, October. So, and we're seeing that now. Silver was hovering between 31 and 32, and now it's hovering down back around like under 31, 30. So, if you're going to be timing some metal purchases, I would time them for the 13th, which would be this Thursday. And my prediction is that, you know, they got all these put options put on these metals to help drive down the price, and we'll see what happens with it. But I think that as far as inter-month period, the 13th, which will be, I think, Wednesday, will be tomorrow. So today must be the 12th. It's a revelation. No. So tomorrow, the 13th is options expiration date. So we can look for an inter-month low today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. So if you're timing your metals purchases with a dip in the metals, I would time them for the 13th because of this options expiration. Now, the whole thing is and my reason for doing these video blogs is I want people positions. I mean, I don't care if you got $10 in your pocket, 10 spare dollars. If that's all you got, I don't have much money at all. But I know not to go gambling in these markets because I know they're all rigged. And at the end of the day, you can have an MF Global or a PFG Best where, you know, you're left with nothing. You know, if the power goes out, you're left with nothing. And something like that, they've been hyping all this cyber attack this, cyber attack that. You know, if these markets, if these brokers are hit with a massive cyber attack, you can be left out in the cold with absolutely nothing. So that's what I'm saying. You know, you want to position yourself, you want to position that money that you've got invested now in that IRA or that 401k and get it out of those, because you can't move that quickly. If you try to go in there after an event like this has happened, you're going to be shit out of luck. You know, you're going to call up your broker or call up your pension fund, or not your pension. You're going to be calling up whoever's holding your money and be like, hey, I want to move it. And they're like, hey, leave a message. Because, you know, you're not going to be able to get a hold of these guys. If you've got a broker that's getting you into bonds, make sure you know where that guy lives. and you should ask him, do you own property outside the United States? Because that's probably where they'll all be going after this happens. You know, we see the interest rates start to rise. You're going to see a flood out of bonds. Bond prices are going to crash. Everything is in a bubble because we have these artificially artificially low interest rates, you know, by the Fed. And then I also saw something where trade deficits are being settled in gold. And we're seeing gold flood out of the United States. I guarantee you, when it comes down to saying, when this whole currency issue happens, however it's going to take form, there's going to be a great accounting of all the currencies and each country's gold. And when that happens, you're going to see the United States with the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that they've printed. And you're going to see us have no gold. China has its yuan trading 6-1 right now. But when they come out and say, hey, we've got 5,000 tons of gold, immediately the value of their currency is going to go through the roof. And Brother John just did a video this morning or last night about the difference between the train stations and these high-speed trains in China versus Greece. And I gotta say, man, China's got it going on. There's no denying the prosperity that is going on over there. And the reason why they have the prosperity is because they don't have a corrupt, or their currency controllers are not as corrupt, and they have real manufacturing. They're actually making stuff. You know, you cannot have a proper functioning economy without a manufacturing base. The manufacturing base is what supports everything else. You can't have a restaurant serving food unless you have guys down at the plant making stuff that somebody else wants somewhere, either here in this country or somewhere else out in the world. So, you know, and our government has set us up into a position where with the rules and regulations, with the insurance mandates, that's one of the biggest things, is these insurance mandates. You know, you got to have unemployment insurance, and you got to have workman's comp, and all this other crap. You know, if you run a seasonal business, you're going to pay more in insurance to hire some guys than what you're actually going to pay them. Now think about this. If you didn't have all those insurance mandates, if you could just write a contract or agreement with your workers saying, hey man, if you get hurt, you'll be given this, or you know, you'll be given some kind of a severance, or you can be given, or let the workers take their own responsibility. You know, if you get hurt, be careful. You know, you're going to be kind of on your own. But you know what? Instead of paying you $10 an hour, I'm going to be able to pay you $20 an hour, or even $25 an hour, because I don't have to pay a piece of shit that sits in a suit and pushes paper all fucking day long to get paid more than the guy on the ground doing the actual fucking labor. That shit pisses me off, and I don't usually like to curse. But dude, boy, you talk about these paper butchers behind desks, man, I'll start cursing. So position yourself and get into a mindset of anything that you can manufacture there at your house that other people are going to want and need. Number one is going to be food. If you can produce food, have a garden, you know, break into these free energy things, you know, all kinds of stuff's going on, and you know, it's just a shame of what our government through the regulations and through the insurance mandates has done to us, because we're going to be in a position where, you know, when the currency does collapse and everybody moves internally to try to do a lot more manufacturing to try to increase their export base, because, you know, nobody's going to want to buy anything from us if we don't have something to trade in return. And any shortfall in that trade is going to be made up with gold. And we're exporting all of our gold to buy the plastic pieces of crap that we're buying now. And we're going to wake up all of a sudden, everybody's going to wake up, because there's not going to be any more gold for the U.S. to export. And the price is going to go through the roof. And we might see a shakeout of weak hands in scrap. People might be turning in their scrap. But, you know, and then we'll just buy more worthless plastic crap, and then there won't be anything left. and we won't be able to make anything because of the rules and the insurance mandates, and nobody will want it. It'll be like all the sanctions that we try to put off on everybody else. The sanctions will be on us because we don't have anything of value to export to them, and we don't have any gold to buy anything outright. So that's where we're headed. That's what I'm seeing. And anything that's locked up in an IRA or 401k, it could get pushed into treasury bonds. I wouldn't be there, because if you look at the interest rates, the real interest rates that they're paying you, the coupon, and then look at real inflation, which is 9-10%. You wonder why gas is so high? It's because they're destroying the value, the purchasing power of the dollar. And it could get cut off at any time now, where the Saudis and the Iraqis and all of them simply say, hey, we're not accepting paper dollars or treasury bonds or bills for our oil anymore. So that's what I got. Talk to you next time.